Ladies and gentlemen, I am Muniba Mazari, and I want you to enjoy your life and become who God created you to be. If you truly want a positive change in your life, don't just listen, take action. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you can receive more inspiring messages. Let me ask you something. What if I told you that your entire life could change in just 6 months? Not 6 years, not even a full year. Just 6 focused months of discipline, silence, self-growth, and no distractions. Would you be willing to pay that price? Because if you can give yourself just 6 months, no drama, no excuses, no scrolling, no waiting, 2026 will belong to you. In today's world, the biggest challenge to personal growth isn't a lack of resources or talent, it's distraction. We live in an age of constant noise. Notifications ping every few seconds. Opinions flood our screens. Social media tempts us to compare, to compete, and to waste precious time watching other people live their lives instead of building our own. What we don't realize is that this noise, although seemingly harmless, is a slow poison to progress. It's not just killing time, it's killing dreams. And if you want to change your life in 2026, the first and most important thing you must do is eliminate the noise. Noise is more than just sound. Just sound. It's mental clutter, it's emotional baggage, it's the endless scrolling, the late-night gossip, the meaningless debates, and the constant pull for your attention by people who don't care about your future. Every moment spent distracted is a moment stolen from your goals. Every hour lost in other people's drama is an hour you could have spent building your discipline, sharpening your skills, or healing your heart. The truth is, most people aren't failing because they're incapable. They're failing because they're not focused. And they're not focused because they've allowed the noise to become normal. When you start eliminating the noise, your life feels different. At first, it may feel lonely. You may even feel disconnected. You might feel like you're missing out, like the world is moving on without you. But this is where transformation begins. You weren't meant to stay connected to everything. You were meant to connect deeply with what matters. When you unfollow toxic accounts, when you mute negativity, when you stop replying to drama, you free up mental space that was being occupied by nonsense. Suddenly, you have the energy to think clearly. You begin to hear your own thoughts again. You reconnect with your inner voice, the one that's been whispering to you all along, buried beneath the noise of the world. Most people live their entire lives trying to please everyone. Family, friends, strangers online. They allow external opinions to become internal truth. They let judgment dictate action. But when you eliminate the noise, you stop asking for validation. You begin to trust your instincts. You realize that silence is powerful, because in silence you can hear your purpose. You can map your own path. You can make decisions based on values, not voices. You start saying no, not because you're rude, but because you're focused. You start valuing time, not because you're selfish, but because you understand its worth. Look around you. Every great achiever has had a season of isolation, season where they disappeared from the noise so they could reappear with clarity, with strength, and with purpose. Isolation is not punishment. It's preparation. It's in the quiet moments that character is built, that goals are refined, that dreams are protected. Eliminate the noise, and you'll find you don't need motivation from outside. You'll generate it from within. You don't need applause. You need alignment. You don't need validation. You need vision. The problem isn't that we're not capable. It's that we're overstimulated. We're watching 10 people do 10 different things and wondering why our own lives feel directionless. It's because we're not listening to ourselves. The moment you choose silence over stimulation, focus over distraction, and depth over superficiality, that's the moment your life begins to shift. It's not easy because noise is addictive. But when you realize what it's costing you, your peace, your growth, your dreams, then the choice becomes simple. Disconnect from the world's chaos so you can finally connect with your calling. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not motivation. No, it's not inspiration. It's not the rush of energy you feel after hearing a powerful quote. Discipline is what you do after the emotion fades. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work even when no one is watching. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. In a world that glorifies instant results and overnight success, the people who win are the ones who are willing to commit to consistent, focused effort, day in and day out, without shortcuts, without applause, and without quitting when it gets hard. Ruthless discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about building habits that don't rely on mood swings. Because if your routine depends on how you feel, you will never be consistent. Your feelings change. Your mood shifts. Life throws curveballs. Discipline is what keeps you grounded when everything else feels unstable. It is the inner contract you make with yourself to show up, regardless of circumstances. And when you start keeping promises to yourself, your confidence begins to grow. Not the fake confidence built on external praise, but the unshakable kind that comes from knowing that you can count on you. It's not glamorous. No one celebrates discipline in the moment. People don't see the early mornings, the skipped parties, the sacrifices made behind the scenes. They don't clap for you when you choose a workout over sleep or when you stay home to study instead of going out with friends. But that's the point. Discipline isn't about being seen. It's about doing what's necessary. It's the lonely road that leads to results. Most people want to look successful, but few want to live disciplined. That's why very few actually win. Ruthless discipline means you don't negotiate with excuses. You don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect time. You create momentum by acting. Action breeds motivation, not the other way around. You train yourself to move, even when it's inconvenient. You become the kind of person who shows up not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Every day you practice discipline, you make it stronger. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. At first, it's painful. You'll want to quit. You'll tell yourself it's too hard. But if you push through those moments, you start to realize that discipline isn't a burden. It's a blessing. You become sharper. You waste less time. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing excellence. You stop looking for distractions and start living with direction. There's a freedom that comes with discipline. The freedom to be in control of your actions, your time, and ultimately, your life. People think freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But true freedom is having the strength to do what you need to do, even when you don't want to. That's how you gain control, by mastering your impulses, by showing up on the days that test you, and by being reliable in the face of resistance. When you build ruthless discipline, you no longer need external motivation. You become self-motivated. You operate from purpose, not pressure. You get up before the world does. You grind while others sleep. You build while others scroll. You understand that the only path to greatness runs through the land of consistency. You realize that every successful person you admire didn't get there through luck or talent alone. They got there because they were willing to do what others wouldn't, for as long as it took. Discipline separates the dreamers from the doers and the watchers from the winners. Learning is the fuel for transformation. It's the foundation of growth, the source of confidence, and the weapon that separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. In a world that never stops evolving, if you're not learning, you're falling behind. The most powerful investment you can make in 2026 is not in stocks or property. It's in your mind. The knowledge you accumulate, the ideas you absorb, and the skills you master will shape your future more than any outside factor ever could. The sad truth is, most people stop learning after school, thinking the classroom was the only place for growth. But the real learners, the ones who rise to the top, never stop. They read when others relax. They study when others scroll. They chase wisdom like their life depends on it, because in many ways it does. To learn relentlessly means you make learning a daily discipline, not an occasional hobby. It means reading books that challenge you, not just entertain you. It means listening to audiobooks while others waste time on gossip. It means studying the biographies of great people, the strategies of successful entrepreneurs, the principles of leadership, psychology, communication, and finance. Because you understand that every new idea you absorb expands your ability to think, to create, to lead, and to earn. Learning is no longer optional in a world driven by speed and information. You can't afford to remain ignorant. You can't rely on outdated knowledge. You have to stay sharp. You have to stay curious. You have to keep evolving. The truth is, the most successful people are not always the most talented. They are the most informed. They're the ones who show up to meetings prepared. They're the ones who ask better questions. They're the ones who understand trends before the world catches on. That's not luck, that's learning. That's learning. That's relentless effort behind the scenes, digging, reading, observing, reflecting. The more you learn, the more confident you become. Not arrogant, but grounded. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop shrinking in rooms where others speak louder, because knowledge gives you strength. It gives you options. It gives you leverage in every situation. You must make it a habit to feed your mind the same way you feed your body. Just like you wouldn't go a day without eating. Don't go a day without learning something new. Even 10 pages a day adds up. One podcast a day adds up. A few notes taken from an online course, a short lesson from a mentor, a quick article read with focus. All of it compounds over time. That's the secret most people miss. Growth isn't explosive. It's gradual. It's built in quiet moments, day after day, when no one else is watching. Those who learn relentlessly may not look different right away, but give them 6 months. They'll think differently, speak differently, act differently. They'll start attracting better opportunities, making wiser decisions, and moving with clarity and confidence. What you know today has the power to protect you or to limit you. If you don't keep growing, the world will move on without you. But if you commit to learning relentlessly, you'll become irreplaceable. You'll stand out in any industry. You'll build a foundation so solid that no recession, no failure, no rejection can shake it. Every book you read, every idea you test, every hour spent sharpening your mind is a deposit into your future. It's a quiet revolution happening inside you, one that will one day explode into visible results, the kind that no one can ignore. We live in an age where consumption has become the default mode of living. Every minute we're bombarded with videos, reels, podcasts, tweets, and opinions. We're constantly watching, scrolling, liking, and sharing, but very few of us are actually building, producing, or creating something that adds value to the world or to ourselves. The truth is, consumption is easy. It requires no effort, no risk, no responsibility. But creation demands focus, courage, originality, and consistency. And that's why it's the path to real power. If you want to stand out in a world full of spectators, you must become a creator. Not just someone who consumes what others make, but someone who builds something of their own. Whether it's a business, content, art, a skill, a platform, or a voice. Consuming all day feels productive because you're filling your brain with new ideas. But if you never turn that knowledge into action, it becomes mental clutter. You become a library with locked doors, full of information but offering nothing to the world. You have to ask yourself daily, am I just watching greatness, or am I building it? Am I endlessly learning without applying? Am I gathering ideas without ever executing? It's easy to fall into the trap of watching motivational videos, reading success stories, studying strategies, but none of it matters if you don't turn it into action. Consumption can be disguised as progress, but if it's not followed by creation, it's just procrastination in a different form. The people who rise above the noise are the ones who decide to build instead of binge. They create value. They solve problems. They take risks by putting their voice, their craft, their ideas into the world, even when it's not perfect. Because perfection is the enemy of progress. If you wait to feel ready or flawless, you'll never start. Creation requires boldness. It means facing rejection. It means being vulnerable. It is the only way to grow. You don't find your Power BI watching someone else's journey. You discover it by walking your own. Every piece of content you consume should inspire output, not just input. If you watch a video, turn it into a new idea for your project. If you read a book, apply one lesson to your life. If you listen to a podcast, let it spark action, not just agreement. Create blogs, videos, designs, solutions, routines, habits, whatever aligns with your vision. Because every time you create, you're taking a step toward clarity. You begin to find your voice. You start shaping your identity. You begin to take up space in the world as someone who contributes, not just someone who observes. Creating over consuming shifts your mindset from passive to active. It puts you in control. You're no longer just reacting to what others say or do. You're building your own narrative. And when you do that, something powerful happens. You start to attract opportunities. People start to notice your work. Your confidence begins to grow, not because someone approved of you, but because you proved something to yourself. You prove that you can turn thoughts into actions, ideas into reality. You begin to develop a bias toward execution. You stop waiting for the right time and start creating momentum now. Even if what you create doesn't go viral, Even if no one claps for you right away, even if your first efforts are messy, that's still progress. That's still movement. You are becoming someone who acts, not someone who waits. Someone who beats, someone who watches others win. And over time, the gap between you and the rest of the world grows wider. Not because you had more talent, but because you chose to create when others only consumed. Your body is the vehicle through which your dreams are delivered. No matter how powerful your vision, how disciplined your mind, or how ambitious your goals, if your body is weak, tired, or untrained, it becomes the bottleneck to everything you want to achieve. When you train your body like a warrior, you're not just building muscle or losing fat. You are cultivating energy, resilience, and presence. You are telling yourself and the world that you respect the gifts of life enough to take care of the vessel that carries you through it. Physical strength breeds mental strength. Movement creates momentum. Endurance in the gym translates to endurance in business, relationships, and life's daily battles. Training your body is not just about looking good. It's about being ready for anything. In a world that promotes comfort, you must become the exception. Most people treat their bodies like afterthoughts. They eat out of boredom, sit for hours, and avoid anything that requires discomfort. But warriors choose the opposite. They wake up early to train, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. They push their limits not to impress others, but to know their own capacity. They treat every workout as a test of discipline, every rep as a declaration of commitment. It's not about a six-pack, it's about self-respect. When you keep showing up for your body, you send a powerful message to your subconscious that you are someone who finishes what they start, someone who can endure pain and keep going. Physical training is not a side habit, it is a foundational pillar of success. When your body is strong, your mind is sharper. When your energy is high, your focus improves. You're more productive, more confident, more alert. You make better decisions, respond better to stress, and recover faster from setbacks. You don't get easily shaken because you've trained yourself to endure difficulty. In the gym, you learn to struggle. You learn to breathe through pressure, to stay composed under strain. That translates directly to life. When things get tough, your instinct isn't to quit, it's to push harder, because you've built that response into your nervous system through discipline. There's also a level of pride that comes from taking care of your body. Not arrogance, but quiet confidence. You walk differently. You carry yourself with strength. You show up to the world not just in spirit, but in form. Prepared, alert, grounded. Training builds presence. When you've run when you didn't feel like running, when you've lifted weights when your muscles screamed to stop, when you've disciplined your diet when temptation was strong, you build a deep-rooted trust in yourself. You stop looking for motivation because you've built habits. You don't rely on feeling ready, you rely on being trained. You don't need to become an athlete or a bodybuilder, but you do need to move daily, to sweat with purpose, to build strength deliberately. It's not about doing what's trendy, it's about doing what's timeless. It's about doing what's timeless. Lift weights, go for runs, stretch, practice martial arts, do yoga. Whatever it is, make it sacred. Make it non-negotiable. Because your future will demand stamina. Your dreams will require long nights, stressful decisions, relentless consistency. If your body can't keep up, your goals will be delayed or worse, denied. Treat every workout as preparation for the battles ahead. Train not just to look fit, but to be fierce. Treat fitness like a daily appointment with your future self. Choose discipline over laziness. Choose effort over ease. Choose to treat your body like the weapon it was designed to be. There's a certain power in silence, in disappearing from the noise, in choosing to go ghost when everyone else is trying to be seen. In a world where validation is chased like a drug and attention is mistaken for success, the boldest move you can make is to retreat into your own world and work in silence. Going ghost doesn't mean giving up. It means locking in. It means stepping away from distractions, from unnecessary conversations, from the pressure to prove yourself publicly before you've done the work privately. It's about entering a season of self-mastery, where you stop posting, stop explaining, stop performing, and start building. You create a routine so focused, so intentional, so aggressive in pursuit of your goals that you don't have time to worry about who's watching. This is where true transformation happens. When no one is clapping, no one is texting, and no one knows what you're up to. Going ghost is not about isolation for the sake of drama. It's a strategy. It's the silence before the storm. It's a conscious decision to prioritize development over display. When you go ghost, you give yourself the space to fail privately, to refine your craft without judgment, to rewire your habits without external pressure. You get to make mistakes and fix them before the world ever sees your progress. You're not building for applause, you're building for impact. And in that solitude, you become dangerous. You start waking up earlier. You start reading more, learning more, sharpening your discipline. Your goals become clearer. Your thoughts become deeper. You stop comparing yourself because you're too focused on your own path. Most people want to glow up without the ghost phase. They want results without the grind, recognition without the sacrifice. But every real glow up is born in the dark. It's built when you're too busy improving to post updates. It's forged in the hours no one sees, in the workouts no one records, in the books no one knows you're reading, in the sacrifices no one thanks you for. When you go ghost, you eliminate the noise of comparison. You stop consuming content that clouds your mind. You stop chasing trends and start creating a life that reflects who you are becoming. You stop reacting to everything and start acting with intention. This is where self-respect is rebuilt. This is where clarity returns. This is where confidence is cultivated, not by talking about what you're going to do, but by actually doing it. The glow-up isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, spiritual. It's not just about changing your wardrobe or getting fit. It's about becoming unrecognizable in discipline, focus, and purpose. It's about walking into a room and commanding it with your energy. Not because of your appearance, but because of your growth. When the time comes to re-emerge, you won't need to announce it. People will feel it. Your presence will speak louder than your posts. The results will echo louder than your explanations. That's the glow up. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's undeniable. Look at that. And it only comes after seasons of silence, after nights of frustration, after days of doing the work when no one was watching. You don't need to broadcast every step of your journey. You don't owe the world your progress reports. What you owe yourself is the commitment to evolve, even if no one is clapping. Especially when no one is clapping. Go ghost not because you're hiding, but because you're healing, because you're growing, because you're becoming something stronger, wiser, sharper. And when it's time to show up again, don't come back the same. Come back as a force. Come back as proof that the work was worth it. Let your silence be the foundation, and your results be the revelation. Let me know if you'd like a full compiled version with all 6 key points in a single document, or if you need the title, hook, or video ending lines next. As you step into 26, remember that the journey to success is personal and requires your full commitment. The world will try to distract you with noise, comfort, and instant gratification, but your greatest victories will come from focusing relentlessly on yourself. Eliminate distractions that drain your energy, build a disciplined routine that never wavers, and commit to learning every day without fail. Choose to create instead of just consuming. Train your body with warrior-like dedication, and when necessary, step back into silence to prepare for your biggest transformation. These steps are not easy, but they are the proven path that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Your future is shaped by what you do today, by the habits you form, and the mindset you build. Trust the process even when progress feels slow, and know that every sacrifice is an investment in the best version of yourself. Success is not about luck or talent. It's about showing up, doing the work, and refusing to give up. Make 2026 the year you rise, not by chance, but by choice. Your time is now, and it all begins with focusing on one person, you. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay inspired on your journey. Your support means everything. Let's grow and succeed together.